Today, I'm with Chelsea Delgado, Miss Florida for America Strong. I'm not very familiar with pageants. What does that mean exactly?
Yeah, Miss Florida for America Strong. We are the America System, and we have been around. We're celebrating our 50th year
Wow.
as the America organization. So, for what we stand for is our tagline is service above self. So we really represent what are you doing in your community? What is your platform? What are your communication skills? If we give you this title, how are you going to represent the state of Florida if we give this to you? And so this system really is about working for others and serving those in our communities.
Okay, because people hear pageants, pageantry, and they see tidbits and they just think it's like a beauty contest. But
Right.
I've heard platform being mentioned,
Yeah.
and you have a specific platform, and
Mhm.
you can't win or make it very far without a platform. So
Right.
tell me what does that mean, and then go into what your platform is.
Yeah, so our platforms really give us the opportunity to share not only with our communities, but now statewide, what are we passionate about and where do we want to see change? And what can we bring to the table to make that change possible? For me, it's mental fitness. I don't use the term mental health because at that point we're talking about mental crisis. And we've kind of hit a burnout of mental health. We all know what it is, but I'm here to bring tactical tools and actual solutions that everyone can use from a CEO to a Fortune 500 company down to our preschoolers and kindergartners just by teaching them how to breathe and regulate themselves. So I'm here to bring solutions and actionable steps that everyone can take.
Wow. And so it's being proactive, right? Just like
Yeah.
we go to the gym and we want to make our muscles and our joints strong so that we
Yes.
don't need surgery and we don't need rehab,
Yeah.
and we have a great wellness, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
tell me, give me some more specifics. You mentioned breathing.
Yeah.
Um, go into some of those for me. Go into those a little more.
Sure. So I work for a company called My Steady Mind, and we're a veteran-owned company. And so one of our things is what we teach everyone. That's super sticky language that everyone can understand is BAML,
Hmm.
breathe and move on. So just teaching people, you'd be impressed with how many people when you tell them to do it 4 seconds in through the nose and 4 seconds out through their mouth, how many people are like, wait, what? And they actually forget. Or like the pain that they feel in their chest when they do that, you can tell they haven't just taken a deep breath and just given themselves a minute to reset in a long time, if ever. So one of those is BAMO. And then another one would be understanding STEA, we call it STEA. So you have, and we want to create the gap. We call that creating the gap. So you have your stimulus. So let's say you get a nasty email or you find out somebody got in a car wreck or something bad happened in your family, whatever that stimulus might be, we want to create that gap. So we want to insert a BAMO breath, right? And then you have your thought and your emotion and your action. A lot of us are just running, we're hitting stimulus, thought, emotion, action. And if you don't give yourself a minute after that stimulus hits to just pause, breathe, reiterate to yourself it's going to be okay, then you're going to have a negative thought, a negative emotion, and then your action's going to be negative. So we say, okay, create that gap after the stimulus, give yourself a BAMO breath, give yourself a minute. And now, after you gave yourself a minute, after whatever stimulus hit you, your thought, emotion, and your action is going to be positive versus negative. So, teaching little things like that to help people understand how their brains are working, and giving them the tool, just as a breath, to give them a minute to realize, like, okay, I'm going to get through this. This is going to be temporary, and we're going to be okay. And understanding little things like that really takes people a long way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I fully understand it the way you explained it.
Yeah.
Now ask me, or let me ask you, who do you work with? Who do you reach with your
Yeah,
programs?
so within our company, I mean, we do individual coaching. So a lot of it is also large industries, high pressure, chaotic industries that are under a lot of stress. So I work with Dr. Seth Hickerson, and he actually has been training multiple different industries that are actually utilizing and implementing these very tools and tactics amongst their entire industries. Their
Hmm.
their their whole companies are using just these little things, and it's actually saving companies. I mean, who knows how much money these companies are saving by just training their employees and giving them tools that they can use on job sites to just we call it pause when pissed. There's little exercises that he will teach them to help kind of give them in the middle of the day when something happens or your coworker and you get into it. Here's just take 20 seconds, 30 seconds to just give yourself some time to take a breath or to start using some visualization tools to calm yourself down and see a positive outcome. And just little things like that are being spread throughout these huge industries and then also elite athletes, high performers. That's what all of this is. He acknowledged that the one thing that was kind of missing with the elite athletes and just like the general masses is they train their bodies really hard to do what they do, but they also train their brains just as hard. And that's the one thing that we're not being taught is how to train our brains just as hard as we train our bodies.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
Yeah.
And, it became obvious when I first had, when I was first learning to take care of children, when I had my children, they let their emotions build up. They don't know how to control them as well. And so as parents, that's a big focus. How can we help them regain control? But you start to realize a lot of adults have a hard time. They never had those tools, and they're really not that different.
Yeah.
And even ourselves, right?
Right.
Also, children can be frustrating. They can get your emotions going.
Right.
So having tools, having actual ways to regain control, so that you're not putting it on somebody else,
Right.
is huge. Now, tell me, you have a platform, right? Because you've put all the effort into becoming Miss Florida and through the pageant systems, and now you have something big coming up. Tell me about that.
Yeah, so I head to Las Vegas at the end of August at the Westgate Resort to compete for Miss for America Strong. Um, I, and to be 100% honest, I was grateful just to be able to represent the state of Florida. And so this is a much bigger opportunity. And meeting all these women that have the same mindset, that are driven to see change and positive change and be a part of something much bigger than ourselves. Um, that's going to be a really cool opportunity to be able to connect with everyone across the nation.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And we've worked with you actually multiple times because
Yes.
you are out in the community. You are helping lots of people. You're with lots of different causes. And then when we need extras and we need other people for commercials and things like that, you're ready to go and you're fantastic on set. So,
you.
the last, I know you helped with the Parker Foundation,
Yes.
the Autism Parker
Yes.
Foundation. You've done that every year.
Yes.
It always key. Looks amazing. Love that event. And then you've helped us with a big commercial. You were on set.
Yes.
You're an extra in the background there,
Yeah.
helping us in a nightlife scene.
Yeah.
And now you're in the studio here, the new studio
Yeah.
we've launched.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, as representing and for your platform, you will have your own show.
Yes.
We'll get you in here.
Yes.
Because
Yes.
you have stories to tell. You have
Yes.
things to share with people and perspectives that you can share as people come on your show, right? So
Yes.
what vision do you have specifically for, and I know yours is even broader than this area, but Brevard, what is your vision with business and Brevard and really being an asset and plugging in there?
Yeah, man, just showing up for each other, showing up even when you don't want to, and showing up for people maybe that you don't have a connection with, doing it anyways, because you just never know who you're going to cross paths with. And until you really get to build those relationships, you don't know how you guys might be able to help each other. And that's something that I've noticed by being a Brevard. I mean, I'm all over the place and I meet people that maybe in my mind, I'm like, oh man, I would never have anything in common with them. They would never want to help me. They would, and then I just sit down and have a conversation with them. And we are so much more aligned than I put my mind to. And I've seen it myself. I've had to kind of pull back those rose-colored lenses and be like, wow, there's something real here in everyone. And everybody's looking for support. We can get so much more done. It breaks my heart when I see a small business come in and then have to close their doors right away. So for me, the biggest thing is how can I show up for you? And even if it is a 30-second reel on Instagram and just let people know, man, this empanada was great, or the smoothie was awesome. The atmosphere was incredible. The people there were so kind. That's really where it just starts. And that's that ripple effect that we're talking about. Just one small act of kindness and just showing up for people and being genuine and being authentic and letting them know, like, I'm here to support you and how can I help? That's how we create a movement.
Yeah. And I didn't really understand this before, and I'm starting to understand
Yeah.
kind of the pageant system, which
Yes.
has been not really around in Brevard, but
Right.
now they're getting it going. I think last year was the
Yes.
first year. Tell me, why is the pageant system? What are the assets? Why is it important?
Personally, I believe that a lot of what pageantry is for women is being able to be heard, and standing up for something that you believe in when, a lot of us are carrying the weight of families and motherhood and jobs and relationships. And I mean, we have all of these things. And sometimes this is just kind of a way to say, hey, we want to hear you. How can we give you an opportunity to speak, be heard, and move you in the direction that you want to go with what you do stand for? And it just kind of accelerates that path. For myself personally, I didn't go off to college. I got right into being a mom. I was working 3 jobs. And for me, it was just, I guess in my mind, I had made up, oh my God, I never went off to college. I'm never going to be successful. And I don't have all this, training and education. But this for me was being able to put myself in a sisterhood of women who have the same goals to make positive change, and use their stories, what they've been through, to say, hey, any of you out there who think maybe you can't get through this season of life, or you can't do this, or you can't be an entrepreneur, you can't get your ideas off the ground, you can. And putting yourself around people who are positive and lift you up, that will help you go so much further than you even realize. But you just got to take that first step and put yourself out there.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Do you plan? I know that it's kind of just getting started, but
Mhm.
do you have any plans with the Brevard pageant system and maybe helping them get off the ground and moving?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I was so excited when I saw that Brevard night, and I even asked, about, I was going to compete. But it was too close to the state pageant. So I didn't do that this year, but I have every intention of supporting them in any way that I can. I was talking to all the girls who just won and all the participants, and we've all been talking about how can we lift each other up and how can we work together and boost Brevard right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Our big mission is collaboration. We're really
Yes.
trying to get out there in the community. There's so many things going on between business and families and just all the pieces coming together.
Mhm.
It's not just the Space Coast. I know that's what we're called, but
Mhm.
at the end of the day, it's really about families and communities
Right.
and coming together. So
Right.
thank you for being on today. I really
Yes.
appreciate it. I
Yes.
know we're going to be involved with more projects in the future.
Yes.
Hopefully, one day you're going to be in this seat and you're going to have your own show and your own continue to grow your platform. So,
Yes.
thank you,
Thank you guys for
Chelsea.
having me. I appreciate it.